Lambo right there. Looks like a Wraith. Is that a Wraith or a, no? That's that new one. It's amazing, man. There's another one right there. That's a damn Phantom. That's 600 grand. Another one of those, the new models. It starts with a D, I think. Duster. I don't know. Hey, so why am I showing you all these cars? Look at this little 911 right over there. 968, whatever that is. I'm showing you this because, man, I didn't grow up around this stuff. Morning. Never even, like, I knew one day I wanted to have financial security. I didn't even know people live like this, okay? It's ridiculous that it's even possible. So here's the deal, okay? I'm here today to show you this, because when I was a kid, nobody did. Turn these lights off in the ceiling, because that's all those cars this morning, because I want to share something with you. I always told my mom, I said, Mom, why can't we see how other people are living? Because she thought the rich people were kind of bad, like the doctor. I mean, it was just a message about it's out of reach. It's not going to make you happy. Don't set that expectation. Rich people aren't happier than we are. Be grateful for what you have. You know, all that messaging. By the way, I'm doing a documentary about how we were programmed to think small, and I'd love your comments on it. How were you programmed to think about cars, money, houses, rich? Because the common people get angry because the curtains are closed. You probably say, oh, well, you're not an everyday person. Oh, yes, I am. I'm an everyday person. I'm an everyday guy. I'm a roll up my sleeves kind of guy. Look, I don't even have my damn sleeves rolled up right now. I don't speak perfect grammar. Don't try to. I'm done trying to impress anybody. But I do want to inspire people. I want to inspire you. So it's been my mission. My mission has been, like, if I make it one day, I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes. You get to see my wife, my kids, how we conduct ourselves when we go on trips, when I'm on business, when I'm at home. I want to show people what it's like to make it, okay? I'm not showing you all the cars and stuff and the planes and to like say, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm saying, hey man, nobody does this. This is my strategic, literally my mission. My strategic mission is to show you everyday people, whether you live in Africa or America, Venezuela, or you live in Venice Beach, California. Okay, look, there's broke people in both those places. There's hopeful people in both those places. Men, women, kids. I don't care your age, your sex, your sexual preferences. You're doing drugs, not doing drugs. Okay, like there's so many judgments on it that I think that's why people that make it kind of go underground and just, like, really, I've been intrigued by my whole life. Why don't the rich people show you behind the scenes? Now I'm starting to find out why, you know, because the moment I do this video, somebody's going to crack on me, or at least try to crack on me, about how I'm showing off, or, oh man, you could have, what you paid that car, you could have given money to charity. Okay, like there's so many judgments on it that I think that's why people that make it kind of go underground and just start hanging out with themselves. It's like, see Steve Jobs hanging out with Warren, you know, not Steve Jobs, Steve's not hanging out with anybody anymore, but Warren's hanging out with Bill, Bill's hanging out with Carlos is hanging, look, all the rich people, for a number of reasons I'm sure, they're super wealthy. You don't really get to see behind the scenes. You don't get to see how they're living. This has probably been going on for thousands of years, since the time of rulers and kings and queens had their little tight court, and the common people, the everyday people, didn't get to see what was really going on behind the scenes, because it was probably freaking crazy. Or maybe it's because it made the common, my man, come on brother, good to see you guys, made the everyday people, my buddies right there, both of those dudes love me like brothers, like a brother. Because the common people get angry because the curtains are closed. And so the everyday people, me and you, You probably say, oh, well, you're not an everyday person. Oh, yes, I am. I'm an everyday person. I'm an everyday guy. I'm a roll up my sleeves kind of guy. Look, I don't even have my damn sleeves rolled up right now. I don't speak perfect grammar. Don't try to. I'm done trying to impress anybody. But I do want to inspire people. I want to inspire you. So it's been my mission. My mission has been, like, if I make it one day, I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes. You get to see my wife, my kids, how we conduct ourselves when we go on trips, when I'm on business, when I'm at home. I want to show people what it's like to make it, okay? I'm not showing you all the cars and stuff and the planes and to like say, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm saying, hey man, nobody does this. This is my strategic, literally my mission. My strategic mission is to show you, everyday people, whether you live in.
Why do rich people hide their wealth? Makes no sense, right? Or does it? That there are actually affluent people out there who do not look, act, or live like affluent people. And actually, there are quite many of them. You have a lot of hidden billionaires, a lot of hidden super rich people in general who do not flaunt their wealth. You would never, ever think that that person has money because they do not live into the stereotype of what an affluent person should look like, act like, and what lifestyle they should live. It does actually lead me to my first and foremost important point: stereotypes. So automatically, when somebody has a certain wealth, society or humans put this kind of expectation of them to have a certain behavior, to have a certain outlook, to look a certain way, to live a certain way, and actually forget the very important fact that, well, maybe not all rich people want to have a flashy lifestyle. Have you thought about that? Show aspect of wealth. There is social pressure because, again, there are these expectations that comes from being rich.
So, although many people look at me as a rich person, that's not a word that I personally use. And there's many reasons for that. One of the many reasons would definitely be, as rich as you may be, there's someone else who makes you look poor. If you have a $60 million Gulfstream jet, there's a guy with a jumbo jet, a billionaire with a jumbo jet that's hundreds of millions of dollars, that makes you look like a chump. You have a Huracan from Lamborghini, there's a guy that has an Aventador. You have an Aventador, there's a guy that has an SVJ Aventador, which costs a lot more than your car. You have a top-of-the-line Lamborghini, not the one of three, but the top-of-the-line Aventador. There's the other guy that has the Bugatti. So, rich is kind of a silly term, but I'm extremely secretive when it comes to wealth. I know you watch my content and you may think otherwise, but if you pay close attention, you'll realize that I generally don't claim anything. You won't see me making videos talking about my this and my that. I recently purchased a car which is specifically for content, and it's one of the first and only cars that I actually claim. I purchased that car and I didn't even let my own family know. I certainly didn't let any of my friends know. And that's typically how I am. Anytime I purchase any high-end vehicles, I don't go around bragging about it. I don't go around telling my friends and family. And I don't go telling even you guys on YouTube. Now, you might see me do a review of a car that belongs to me, but I won't mention that it's actually my car. I'll just jump in a car and go do a video and say, hey, this is what I like about it, this is what I don't like about it, and never mention that it's actually my car. If I had a Bugatti right now, I wouldn't tell you guys about it. Definitely at that level, a car that's multiple $1 million. That's not something I'm going to broadcast to the world. So the question is why? Why the secrecy? I know some people have looked at it as a sort of, you're some kind of criminal, drug dealer, or something like that, and that's what you're trying to hide. And certainly there are people who hide their wealth because of that reason. I mean, we have things like money laundering, which exist specifically for that reason. Your wealth was gained through illegal means, so you launder the money to make it seem like it's legitimate. But there are many people who are very secretive, and it's not because of something like that. And, I am of the mindset of, you hear the concept of the millionaire next door. So the person who has a lot of money and lives in a normal situation. Let's say if I wasn't a car enthusiast, I would never spend more than $20,000 on a car. I think spending more than $20,000 on a car is absolutely ridiculous in 2020. That may sound very strange, like me, the car enthusiast, saying that, but it's the very fact that I'm a car enthusiast, which is why I spend a lot of money on cars. But if I was not a car enthusiast, I would not be spending a lot of money on cars, because cars are depreciating assets and they are absolutely horrible. From the maintenance to the insurance, it's just so many negatives. Depreciation, it's certainly not an investment, and it's a way to lose a lot of your money. And you'll find, ironically, the more money people make, the more protective they are of that money, in terms of very particular about how they spend their money. And then you find people that make less money that are less particular about how they spend their money. So you have someone who doesn't really make that much money buying all kinds of things, name brand this, name brand that, all the latest smartphones, whatever it is. And then you have someone who is very wealthy, who's kind of very selective about what they buy. I experienced this a long time ago when I worked in retail. I remember having these customers come in. My manager told me that they were very wealthy, and they were difficult to sell because they were extremely, just very particular about how they spend the money. So hagglers, right? They want a discount, they want a deal, they will run out the door if they can get a better deal somewhere else. Meanwhile, someone with less income, they just throw it on a credit card and add to their existing credit card debt, right? I'll just put on a card, no big deal. I'll pay it off in a few years, whatever the deal is. So for me personally, I don't come from money. I was born in a third world country, and I don't have anyone that's like really wealthy in my family. And I'm also I have a strong sense of empathy. So I tend to feel or understand, I'm very understanding of the pain and struggle of others. And that's even stronger because of the fact that, again, I don't come from money, right? So I know what it's like not to be able to pay your rent, not to pay your bills, to be struggling, living check to check. I know about times where I remember buying a magazine. I would think about, do I really need this magazine? $4.50, I think, was the price of magazines back in the day. I don't know what they cost now, but I remember that was a decision. I would go in the store, see something interesting in a magazine, and then I would think about, do I really need to spend this money? Right? So I know about that. I know about dealing with, potentially being evicted. I know about basically struggling financially, having to sell things to survive, right? I know about that. So when I look at being very sort of overt with my success with people that I know that are struggling like I struggled, and I know the stress and potential depression of just not really making it financially. And to me, and I know there's two ways, there's people who get motivated by success, but I also am very aware of the people who are very envious of success. And there's sort of an animosity, and I just don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. There's also security concerns as well. Right? You don't want to let people know all your business. But I think the biggest motivator for me in terms of secrecy is, and I understand the mentality of, you work very hard, it's your money, you should spend it how you want and flaunt it, whatever you want to do. But I'm just very empathetic, and I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable just being too flamboyant. Now, I know this may sound strange to you guys, because although I don't claim a lot of things, you see me doing videos, private jets, yachts, exotic cars, but this is content. This is, my YouTube channel, right? I will show you guys a lot of that stuff, whereas in my personal life, I don't. And again, my own family. I love my father very much, but I will buy a high-end vehicle and I won't tell him about it. I want to. And I think about the idea of sort of, the sense of pride, letting him feel the pride of, my success. But, I mean, he knows I'm successful. I don't think he knows really how successful. But, again, I feel very empathetic to these types of things. I mean, I know my father worked really hard, and he couldn't live the lifestyle that I do. He's never made the kind of money that I've made, and I don't know, I just it's not something I'm comfortable with, and it's not something I feel is necessary. I'm at a stage in my life where I don't need to impress anybody, so I think that's another factor as well. You have a lot of people that need to be accepted, and they get a lot of power or energy, whatever you want to call it, from admiration from others. Man, you're really doing it, you got this nice car, blah blah. That doesn't really do much for me. I don't really feel the desire or need to impress anyone, so there's not really a lot of motivation for me to sort of flaunt what I've achieved in life. I don't need that, so I choose not to do that. Now, everybody's different. People have different personalities. Some people like to flaunt things, and that's all good, right? People look at me and they may have negative ideas because of the secrecy, and they think about, why wouldn't you want to share your success with others, especially your parents, right? Let them feel the pride of your success. So people might judge me for my actions. So I understand the idea of other people who have different perspectives. I'm not going to do the same thing and judge them, right? You want to be overt with your wealth? That's on you, right? You worked hard for it. It's your money. Do what you want with it. But for me personally, I just feel I like my privacy. That's another thing as well. I don't like the idea of going out in public and having people sort of prejudge me and all this kind of stuff. I like to be able to go through public like everybody else and just be a normal person, right? That's why, again, I'm a car enthusiast, so I drive the nice cars, but in general, I wear old clothes. I don't need name brand stuff. You see me walking down the street, you're not going to think that I'm anybody special. And I'm not. I'm just a regular person. The fact that I've been successful, I mean, that's really how I've applied myself in the direction that I chose with my life, but I'm not particularly genius or special or anything like that. I know many people will disagree with that, but I don't feel that I am. I'm just a normal guy. I come from a very humble upbringing, and I don't know, I guess there's a certain level of humility that stayed with me. But yeah, if I wasn't a car enthusiast, I think there wouldn't really be much evidence of my success. So I don't know, it's very complicated. It's my personal choice and how I feel personally. Different people have different reasons why they are secretive, but I am who I am, and I'm not ashamed to admit that and embrace that, and I have no regrets. But I am one of the many people. Like, for example, I'm the kind of person who, like, you've maybe heard stories where, the anonymous donor, right? $1 million, $2 million. Like, I'm that guy. If I'm going to donate $2 million, and I'm not saying that I've done that, but my point is, that type of thing. I'm the type of guy who would donate $2 million, $100 million, and don't want any credit for it. There's many things that I've done and achieved. I haven't shared with you guys. I haven't shared with friends. That's just who I am. So if I were going to donate a bunch of money to a charity, I probably wouldn't take credit for it, because credit is not something that I'm looking for, right? I want to help. That's my objective. So I want to know that what I'm doing is helping people. It's not about me. It's about the people I'm trying to reach out to. So anyway, those are my thoughts. That's who I am. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Why do you think so-called rich people are so secretive? What are they hiding? Anyway, this is Cardall's Picks. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, subscribe, and smash that bell. I'm out.